Good morning. Can you hear it? Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here. We're going to get started. If we could grab seats. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. As we are finding our seats, I want to greet you again and say thank you for taking the time to join us. I am the Office of Arts and Culture Director, Martine Philippe, and it's my sincere honor to be here with you as we celebrate the legacy and birthday of Mrs. Juanita Craft, our civil rights hero and City of Dallas leader. To kick off our event, we will have Deputy Mayor Pro Tem Carolyn King-Arnold read the proclamation recognizing Juanita Craft Day.
And it is indeed a beautiful day, is it not? It most definitely is, with the Juanita J. Craft Celebration Day. And furthermore, it's always a wonderful day to celebrate someone who has made it possible for you to be here today to continue the legacy and most of all, your commitment to her work. As stated, I am Deputy Mayor Pro Tem Carolyn King-Arnold, and I represent the City of Dallas in the position of District 4 around the Horseshoe. I am thankful and grateful to be asked to be a part of this wonderful event today to celebrate the life of a civil rights hero or a shero, Juanita Jewel Craft, who continuously sought out opportunity in her life, not only to better her life, but also the life of others. And so as a result of this brief introduction, I've really been called to read the resolution. And the resolution, many times when you hear the word resolution, you say, oh, Lord, here we go. But a resolution is designed to highlight historical marks, benchmarks, and milestones that many people oftentimes don't know. So I'm going to ask that you be very patient with me, because the resolution speaks of the work that she did during her life, and it wasn't just a small task. And so I will be on time, clear, and lucid on the work of Juanita Jewel Craft. So whereas the Honorable Juanita Jewel Craft was an American civil rights advocate, politician, community leader, and longtime resident of Dallas, and whereas Ms. Craft was born Juanita Jewel Shanks in Round Rock, Texas on February the 9th, 1902. She was the granddaughter of former slaves and the only child of school teachers. In 1935, Mrs. Craft joined the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, also known as the NAACP, before becoming the Dallas membership chairman in 1942 and the Texas field organizer in 1946, organizing some 182 branches of the NAACP across Texas. Whereas Ms. Juanita Craft became the first African-American woman to vote in Dallas County in a public election, she also organized a protest of the State Fair of Texas against its policy of admitting blacks only on Negro Achievement Day in 1955. Whereas, following the Brown versus Board decision, Ms. Craft also worked to integrate the University of Texas Law School and the Dallas Independent School District, of which we normally refer to as DISD. And Ms. Craft later helped enroll the first black student at North Texas State College, now known as the University of North Texas. And whereas she received Dallas's highest civic honor, the Lenz Award, in 1967, and whereas she also served on the Dallas City Council for 2 terms between 1975 and 1979. Whereas Ms. Craft leaves behind an amazing legacy of public service, receiving for her lifelong efforts the NAACP Golden Heritage Life Membership in 1978. Also, the Eleanor Roosevelt Humanitarian Award she received in 1984, and 3 times, let's count that, 1, 2, 3 times, summoned to the White House to receive recognition awards. Whereas the Honorable Juanita Jewel Craft passed away on August 6, 1985, her legacy to this day and to this city was commemorated with the Juanita Craft Recreation Center and a Dallas City Park. Whereas her home, the Juanita Craft Civil Rights House on Warren Street, is now rehabilitated through the Office of Arts and Cultural Affairs, the National Park Service, and several community partners, including the Friends of Juanita Craft Civil Rights House and the Junior League of Dallas, to fulfill her vision of making her home a destination for all. And whereas whereas the Junior League of Dallas established a partnership with OAC to restore the Juanita Craft Civil Rights House as their centennial anniversary project, this partnership contributed a $497,000 check to this effort. 490, did I say 5 or 7? I'm trying to see if you're woke. Thank you. Thank you. Whereas in partnership with OAC, the Friends of the Juanita Craft Civil Rights House, and the Junior League of Dallas will focus on completing the restoration of the house, developing curriculum for all Dallas residents, and making the home a historic national destination for years to come. Now, therefore, on behalf of Eric Johnson, the mayor of Dallas, I, as deputy mayor of Dallas, Carolyn King Arnold, do hereby proclaim February the 9th as Juanita J. Craft Day in honor of her 120th birthday. 120. And share my gratitude for the life and life's work of the Honorable Juanita Jewel Craft. Thank you. So I know that I'm prepared now to transition to the next speaker, but it is an honor to be here to share this information today and this history. And if you don't take anything else with you, all the numbers, the 497 and the 120 and all of those, you will leave here today knowing that you have a city and you have partners committed to the legacy. And just by you being here today, you thought enough of her and enough of her history to be able to reflect and say, you know what? She did a good job. She was a well and faithful servant. And I have no problem sharing her history and being a part of her work on my day-to-day journey as I travel along the way through Dallas or wherever I am. But once again, thank you for allowing me, all the members and all the partners, and of course, my friend and my constituent, Ms. Candace, thank you for allowing me to be a part of this presentation today. And I will leave and go to my seat by letting you know that whereas I did not get a chance to work with her on a day-to-day, we were members of the Munger Avenue Baptist Church, and that was a force to be reckoned with in terms of all the members and the other heroes and sheroes of that church. Thank you so very much, and I'll move on to my seat now, and you can come on up and take this. Thank you. Thank you. Okay.
Thank you, Ms. Arnold. Good morning again. I serve as the Director of the Office of Arts and Culture. I'm Martine Philippe, and I'm so honored again to be here with y'all today. I want to start my remarks off with a lot of gratitude to extend. I first want to thank the Friends of Juanita Craft Civil Rights House and Museum for helping organize this great event in order for us to get together and celebrate the wonderful legacy of Mrs. Craft. I also want to share a big thanks to my partner and sister departments, the Office of Equity and Inclusion and Dallas Public Library, both represented here by their directors and some staff, in helping us celebrate this great legacy again. And of course, my staff, the Office of Arts and Culture staff, for all of their hard work, not only in lifting this celebration up today, but in the opening of the Juanita Craft House last year, and all of the related events that support the uplifting and continued celebration of Mrs. Craft. I would also like to thank the organizers of the mural dedication this morning. We have the Walls Project represented here today, and the muralist, Mr. Lakeem Wilson. Thank you for your thoughtfully designed. Thank you for your thoughtfully designed and constructed piece. I also want to thank a representative from the National Park Service who may be here today, Mr. Turnbull. Thank you for being here today, and many thanks to the National Park Service for their support of the rehabilitation of the Juanita Craft Civil Rights House and Museum, and that's helped make the facility's reopening in May 2023 possible. Mrs. Craft is one of the most influential civil rights leaders in Dallas, who helped advocate and push for the integration of restaurants, public universities, and the State Fair of Texas. She was also the first Black woman to vote in a Dallas County public election, and the second Black woman to serve on our Dallas City Council. My office, the Office of Arts and Culture, has had the special honor of being the custodian of Mrs. Craft's home, which is a 1,300 square foot, one-story frame house that she resided in for 50 years. In that home, she had such visitors as Lyndon B. Johnson and Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who visited her to discuss the future of the civil rights movement. So you can imagine that the significance of uplifting and rehabilitating that home in order to serve as a space for reflection, a space for education, is paramount to the mission of our office in partnership with the Dallas Public Library. Today, marks Mrs. Craft's 122nd birthday. The resolution Ms. Arnold read was drafted and published in 2020, 2 years ago. So today we'll be celebrating Mrs. Craft's 122nd birthday, and I am grateful to share with you a bit of her story and a bit of her legacy on this day. I want to thank you all for your attendance again in today's celebration. And I want to mention that in conjunction with celebrating Craft Day, we're also celebrating Black History Month, upstairs here in the flag room and also downstairs by way of an art exhibit featuring the works of Ifeanyi Onene. So please, on your way out later, make sure you stop through the City Hall lobby. I want to welcome you to tour Mrs. Craft's home later today, if you're available, or tomorrow on the 10th, where we will be hosting tours available from noon to 4 p.m. I want to encourage you, especially if you've not been yet since the opening in May 2023, to make that a part of your weekend plans. It's a beautiful space, thoughtfully curated, and my understanding as someone who visits frequently is that for first-time visitors, they're generally so moved, sometimes to tears, to see the way in which we have elected to celebrate and uplift Mrs. Craft's legacy. So please make some time to visit that home. It is now my pleasure to welcome to the podium Chair of the Friends of the Juanita Craft Civil Rights House and Museum, Ms. Candace Thompson.
All right, good afternoon. My name is Candace Thompson, and I have the absolute pleasure of being the chair for the Friends of Juanita Craft Civil Rights House and Museum. I bring you greetings from the Friends, and I thank you for this great honor. And as I mentioned this morning, Lakeem, this mural is absolutely beautiful. It is stunning. And I do truly think that Ms. Craft would have felt honored with this reception. On this day, my heart is absolutely overwhelmed with joy and gratitude. Ms. Craft's legacy lives on in each and every one of us. She lived out what it meant to lead and to live with equitable love, to embrace diversity, and she sought the inclusion of all long before it was a short-lived national focus. She was aware of her worth, her truth, and she was persistent in her cause to advance human rights for all. In this life, we are asked to move forward, but not to forget from whence we came. Justice threads a needle tying us to one another, making a beautiful tapestry of many colors and many designs. We are a better and a more complete Dallas because of her great work, pushing us forward and holding us accountable to one another. The Honorable Juanita Jewel Craft deserves and earns our respect in every aspect of her existence. We were recently made aware that she does not currently have a headstone at her gravesite. We, the Friends of Juanita Craft and others, are committed to collectively ensure that she receives a headstone, and we will hold a graveside memorial celebration of her life and legacy in the months to come. Please stay tuned for future activities as we continue to march towards achieving other national recognitions, getting her home on the Civil Rights Trail for the state of Texas. And just understand that we get by with help from our friends. Her legacy continues on and it lives strong. This week, we had the honor to meet her second cousin, Miss Shirley Walker. In Dallas, we have a new auntie. She's full of love, she's full of light and kindness, and be careful because she will adopt each and every one of us like her cousin adopted the world. And I'm grateful to celebrate and happy to celebrate her 122nd birthday. And so thank you. Take care.
Thank you, Ms. Thompson. Before I introduce our very special next guest, I want to acknowledge a few folks who have joined us today. We have Councilman Moreno, who is here. I hear that, thank you for joining us. I also heard that Councilman Nervais or members of his staff are also present. Thank you for being here. We have members of staff from across the city manager's office and many of my peer directors. Thank you, thank you, thank you for taking the time to celebrate Ms. Craft with us. So our next guest I want to welcome is our auntie, I hear. Ms. Craft's cousin is here to join us and will be our next speaker. I want to thank you, Ms. Shirley Walker, for taking the time to visit and to join and to share a bit about Ms. Craft with us today. So I'd like to welcome you to the podium.
Thank you so much. I acknowledge that I'm not a public speaker. And if you expect me to step in Juanita's shoes, you may be a little bit disappointed. However, the main reason that I wanted to speak to you is just to let you know how humbled, how privileged, and how honored I feel to be a part of this celebration today. Juanita was born in 1902. I was born in 1949, so she was 47 years older than I was. So as a child, I didn't have as much communication as when I became an adult. And one of my first memories of Juanita is when she came to Austin, Texas, when I was 23 years old. I had a sibling who was murdered, and she took the time out of her busy schedule, not just because it was a family member, But she wanted to come and make sure that we were comforted and that we were loved and taken care of in the right way. Even though we were in grief, she brought so much joy and so much laughter into the home that it helped to kind of ease that pain a little bit. No, it didn't take the pain away, but it helped to ease some of those emotions. The second, and I would say this was my most favorite memory of her, is in 1982. We visited Juanita in her home. It wasn't a museum at that time, but it was where she lived. And I remember that when we were there over the course of those 4 days, how much love we received from her, how much joy we had in listening to the stories that she had to tell and the things that she had to share with us. And of course, I knew some of the history, but I did not know the magnitude in which she was involved, not just in Dallas, but in the state of Texas. And I know how much she loved the children and how much she did to inspire them, as she inspired me. And I hope that we can keep this connection, that I can keep the connection going with you wonderful people of the city of Dallas. I would welcome you that when you come to the area, I live in the Pflugerville area, 15 miles from Austin. If you're ever in the area, I'd welcome you to contact me so that we can make a little connection and see what we can do. Now, it is true, the word has gotten out, that I had adopted some of these young people into my heart as my children of the heart, as I call them. And so, for some reason or another, they keep telling their buddies. So I suspect that I'm going to have a big array of children of the heart. And that's okay, I love that. Now, I have children of my own. And you would think that the oldest child might be a little bit jealous about that, you know, the firstborn. But the youngest child really embraces the fact that I reach out to young people. I love to inspire. I love to encourage. I think that's one of the gifts that I have, is a gift of encouragement, because I love people. I don't care who they are, I just love people. And the more I learn about Juanita, the more I learn how much of her character is inside me. And I hope that I won't be a disappointment to anyone, but that I will continue to inspire and to grow and to be loved as much as Juanita was loved. And I want to just thank you for what you're doing for her. There are so many people that are involved and so many people who have shared with me. I'm getting a little emotional, but these are tears of joy. And I thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. And I also represent the Shanks family. My name is Shirley Laverne Shanks Walker, but I represent the entire Shanks family. Now you say, well, we're cousins. She would have been 122. I'm 74. So how is that? Well, her grandfather and my grandfather and her father were brothers. So that makes my father and Juanita first cousins, and it makes me her second cousin. And I'm so proud to be a part of her life. And I appreciate the expressions of the life and legacy of Juanita. Thank you so much.
Thank you for those encouraging words, Ms. Walker. I'd like to welcome our next speaker, next and final, the wonderfully talented artist who crafted the mural that was dedicated earlier this morning. Mr. Lakeem Wilson, please join us.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Lakeem Wilson. I'm an artist, illustrator, and entrepreneur and I'm born and raised here in South Dallas. So it's an honor to be doing this project in the neighborhood that raised me and groomed me to be who I am today. For too long, our stories have been told without the full spectrum of our experience. And I believe it's time to rewrite the script and ensure access to the arts in our Black communities. It's an honor to be unveiling this mural, which is on the corner of Malcolm X and Martin Luther King Street, because it stands as a testament of our commitment to justice and equality. My artist motto is BEAMS. If some of you guys may have seen, I draw this character all the times. And BEAMS is an acronym for Black Elevation Always Motivates Society. And I think that having this mural on the wall in South Dallas is a symbol of elevation and what it looked like for the future of the community. So Miss Juanita's craft legacy was deeply rooted in her efforts with the NAACP, and I thought that that deserved recognition on the mural. So the Scales of Justice is a part of the NAACP's logo, and that's what the scales represent. So this mural serves as a reminder that the fight for civil rights is an important part of our shared history, and it continues to shape our present as well as our future. Beautifying Black communities is a big part of my mission as a mural artist and just artist in general. And it's not just about the aesthetics, it's about reclaiming the space in our narratives. It's a statement that says that we belong here and our story really matters. Every day I was working on a mural, I saw young kids that were getting out of school, and they would see the progress of the mural as it went from start to finish. And just looking at their expression on their face and seeing how this might be a future artist, because I was the same way when I saw art in the progress. And the people driving up the street honking their horns as a confirmation that this piece is necessary for the neighborhood. All those things were really great to experience as I was creating the mural. The project is a commitment to breaking down systematic barriers and creating a space that reflects the vibrancy, resilience, and richness of our culture. So as we honor and accomplish Miss Juanita Craft, let us pay homage to the programs and organizations that uplift our community too, recognizing their vital role in education, empowerment, and mentorship. We express gratitude to those dedicated to creating a positive change. For educational initiatives to economic empowerment programs, these organizations pave the way for a brighter future and more inclusive future. So organizations like the Walls Project, South Dallas Culture Center, African American Museum, all these establishments are who groom people like myself to know what culture is in the creation process. So in conclusion, as we celebrate Miss Juanita Craft Day, let's carry her spirit forward. May her commitment to justice and equality inspire us to continue to work uplifting and beautifying our communities with mural arts like this. Let it be a symbol not just of the past, but also the future, where every artist in our community have a canvas to paint their dreams. And let's redefine what's possible. So again, my name is Lakeem Wilson. I can be found on Instagram, lakeemwilson.com, as well as my website, lakeemwilson.com. And with that, I'll say thank you. All right. Cool. All right.
Thank you, Mr. Wilson. I want to thank all of the participants who spoke this morning. I want to thank again Deputy Mayor Pro Tem Arnold, Councilman Moreno, Councilman Nervais for your steadfast support of initiatives such as these that allow our sister departments and our Office of Arts and Culture to continue to uplift legacies of Miss Craft and all of the folks who came before us to serve as an example of what it means to lead in the city of Dallas. I want to remind everyone again, not only to entertain each other, to welcome yourself to the refreshments in the back as we celebrate Miss Craft with cake and refreshments and each other, but also on your way out to stop through our Black History Month exhibit in the City Hall lobby. Thank you again for taking time to spend together in fellowship and uplifting Ms. Craft's legacy. And I wish you a safe and enjoyable day. Thank you.